Diablo was actually out in the desert and kills him.
Oh,
And you hear this death shriek that just completely terrifies everything out there, afraid to move. And that's basically where the book ends.
brutal.
Yeah.
Big D, man. Right on. Glad Diablo got his appearance.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I guess that does it for book 4 then.
That does it for book 4.
Cool. Any questions just about that? Anything you want us to elaborate on? The Worldstone Keep at gmail.com. That goes for any questions, comments, concerns of the show, or any other show. You can also look us up on Facebook, The Worldstone Keep. Like us on there, regular updates, all that jazz. So yeah, let's jump into news. Since we got a lot of news this week, I'll hand it over to Ken and let him get into it. What do we got, Ken?
Wicked. Well, the first thing that everyone needs to know, if they haven't figured it out or haven't read it yet, is that Blizzard is going to be releasing new stuff, screenshots, in-game shots, artwork, etc., for different increments of amounts of likes they get on their Facebook page. So if you haven't liked Diablo on Facebook yet, definitely go do that. And then make a whole bunch of dummy accounts and like Diablo with those as well.
And while you're at it, like the Worldstone Keep.
Yeah. So, the first thing that we got is actually a couple of screenshots. So we got concept art of the Witch Doctor's ability wall of zombies. We got yeah, it's pretty cool.
Spectacular.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, I'll go ahead and throw it up in the show notes for everybody on the blog.
Yeah.
That and everything else.
I like it. It actually looks terrorizing. Like, it doesn't look like a wall. It looks like something that's actually going to own stuff.
Yeah, and like all the zombies don't look the same. They're all like different. There's like that scarecrow looking one and like those two that are fused together. Just gnarly.
Yeah. I could actually see a lot of nice strategic moments with that wall between like splitting up hordes of mobs coming at you and it owning one side and you owning the other. I don't know. That'll be pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Then we got the male witch doctor using his poison dart. Now this is an actual screenshot from in the game, and you can see it's. This is one of those things that, like, looking at it actually makes me really want to play the game really badly. Every in-game shot.
I know. At least you have played it though.
Yeah, it's true. I have, and I probably will again this year. Yes, because BlizzCon's awesome.
Yeah, you and me
but
both.
See, it's cool because, like, he's hunkering down. You can see the blow dart in his hand, and he's just owning something right in the face. And then we got a sick picture of King Leoric.
Oh yeah, by Braum.
Yeah,
Braum's the man.
Ridiculous.
If you don't know, the box art for Diablo 2, the one where you got that skeleton with the skull in his head and he's like in that hooded cloak, the actual artwork is from Braum. He did that artwork. I guess he was like freelancing for Blizzard, and he also did a piece for King Leoric that they just released, and it is badass.
In all fairness, the Leoric concept art wasn't new, and people were of course complaining about that fact, but it doesn't take away from the fact that the artwork is simply amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, really good one. Then the last was just the Demon Hunter chick owning something with, they say a combo attack, but all I see is an arrow coming out and something exploding. Things dying. But
yeah, it kind of looks like her little bola shot is around the neck of the other target, so
yeah,
that's about it.
Then actually, like, they just updated it today. Actually, there's some more art in the Diablo 3 classes folder, I guess you would call it. So you can check those out too. So I honestly, I mean, there's a ton of pictures in there. So I don't know which 5 are new. To be honest, I don't memorize what's in each of their folders, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so
I looked at them earlier, but yeah.
That's just more stuff. Like, this is what I was talking about, like last episode, 2 episodes ago, when I was like, this is all they have to do to keep everyone happy.
Exactly.
Well, at least me, I'm happy.
Yeah.
This is sweet. Just release, little freaking screenshots, little artwork. Perfect. They heard it. They listened to the Worldstone Keep.
Definitely.
They've been listening to the podcast, and they have heard our prayers.
While they're listening, Blizzard, I would like chocolate bar, a can of Dr. Pepper, and large pizza. Just mail it on up to Canada, and yeah.
That's more reasonable than some of the requests I see on the forums.
My request is a lot more simple. I just like a beta key.
Speaking of beta,
that's all I'm asking for.
We thought we were at least going to get a release date or beta key announcement or beta announcement with
I'm okay with them not announcing it so long as I have a key. It's one of those like I had a StarCraft 2 beta key and I didn't get to use it for like a year and a half, but that was okay because I knew
Still
once it
had
did
it.
happen, I was there.
Nice.
Um,
That's true.
and then I guess I mean another little bit of news is I mean for people who have been following it like crack, it's not really any new information, but it's kind of fun to watch some some same clips, some new clips, but X-Play on G4 TV, they had a little quote exclusive behind the scenes look at Blizzard. I think it's a little bit misleading, but it's just some more. Basically, I mean, X-Play's job is just to kind of introduce it to people who've never really heard of it, so it's kind of just a rehash of some PvP stuff and
Hmm.
a little interview with one of the guys making it who actually this is kind of funny. The little tidbit out of there is it almost felt like if you watch it again, when he brings up hardcore PvP, it's almost like he was stressing to just bring it up because that wasn't really the topic of conversation. He kind of made a tangent a little bit just to say,
Nudged it a little
"Oh yeah,
bit.
and there is hardcore PvP, which means when you die, you die." Hint, hint, forum goers, stop it. It almost sounded like that when he said it. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was a nice touch, I'd say.
But yeah, I mean, you might as well check it out anyways, regardless if it's new or not.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and link to that video in the show notes. So look forward to that.
Let's see. What else did we get? Oh, conference call.
Yes,
right.
yes. The
Oh,
infamous
I didn't actually have.
shareholder conference call.
Yes.
Did any of you actually listen to the whole thing?
I didn't listen to the whole thing. I just kind of got the summary of it.
I did. Most of it was boring numbers, having to do with pleasing the investors and all that. There's a lot of Activision stuff in there too. But in terms of Blizzard and Diablo, people were hoping for a release date. The investors were, investors, shareholders were. That didn't happen. He said we were hoping for a beta announcement to be in the next conference call, which, judging by previous conference calls, will be in May. So we'll get a beta announcement sometime in May if they don't do it before that. So look forward to that. At least that's what Mike says. Mike Morhaime, I think it is, CEO of Blizzard.
Yep, he's the big daddy.
But yeah,
That's right.
other than that, some other interesting stuff was their overall goal. Like Blizzard plans on releasing one game a year. That didn't happen in 2009, so that just means they ended up releasing 2 titles in 2010. And they say if they don't release a title this year, which is what they would like to do, but as of right now, they don't have anything planned to release. If they were going to release something, it would be Diablo 3, but as of right now, they just don't know. So that would just mean they're going to release 2 more titles in 2012, probably Diablo and StarCraft being those 2.
Yeah, that was the big drama. Was they said there's no announcement and they don't have any plans necessarily for release in 2011, but definitely at least 2 or whatever in 2012.
Yep.
And who was it? Was it? I forget who it was that clarified. I think it was actually Mike. Someone was quoting Mike as saying, we don't know is all. Like, we're not saying it's not coming out in 2011, but we're not saying it is. We just don't have a release date at all for Diablo 3, so it's basically nothing really happened with Diablo 3. It's
Business
the
as
same as it
usual.
always has been.
This isn't something that's a terribly big surprise because we had that leaked forecast slide from, I guess it's almost a year ago now, where Diablo 3 was slated for Q4 2011, but that's fiscal quarter, so that actually overlaps 2012. So, we knew it was going to be late this year. Anyway, so hopefully it's just a small slip, and they are saying, maybe we'll get lucky. Beta in May. Cross fingers.
Yeah, here's hoping. It was funny at the end of the conference call. They take questions from some of the investors, and one of the dudes, you can tell like he was a Diablo fan because his question came in like 2 parts. It was like something about the development and if Diablo 3 is going to be out. He didn't actually say Diablo 3, but he's like, could you like explain why you guys aren't planning on releasing anything this year? Blah blah blah. And then Mike says something about it, and then he's like, to follow up, if you could give a percentage of how far along Diablo 3 is to completion, that would be great. And Mike's just like, basically says the same thing that they always say. It's not really a percent of game done. They're working on it diligently, and yeah, just look forward to the beta announcement for the next conference call.
Yeah, I thought someone also said that like the way that they do them, which is I'm sure the way that a lot of companies and actually pretty much everything in the entertainment industry, minus music, is like they don't work like it act by act. So it's hard to say if it's like, we've done 3 acts, so I mean that means we're 75% done. All we have to do is act 4 and we're done. They're working on like everything all at once, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So it's I could see from their perspective it'd be hard to actually kind of put a percent done. They could be like, we're getting there, but not quite.
Also a huge thing that they stressed in the conference call was like quality. Quality is our top priority with our Blizzard games, so that's why we don't put a release date down, because it's not done until we're happy with it.
Right, and also on that 20th anniversary thing that came up, they did kind of stress that in the fact that you look at their past history, they were, proud of pretty much every game that they released, and there were at least 2 games that they didn't release because they didn't make the cut. One of which most of us have heard of, which was StarCraft Ghost,
right.
Got scrapped, but they may return to it at some point. The other one was this weird Warcraft-based,
Warcraft Adventures.
Yeah.
Warcraft Adventures. I was looking forward to it, but
I wasn't.
It was at a time when the adventure genre was just dying in general.
Exactly.
Sierra was folding, and no one, even now there's sort of been a tiny resurgence of like Sam and Max and Monkey Island, but sure is dead.
All right, where were we? Conference call. Are we more or less done with that? Anything else to say about it?
The last thing we were talking about was the 20th anniversary stuff.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I just have to say, anybody who thinks Activision has a hand in whatever Blizzard does has their head very far up their ass. Because listening to that conference call, they act and operate as 2 very separate companies. Activision is focused mainly on Call of Duty. They're throwing out a lot of their other IPs, mainly Guitar Hero and other peripheral-based games like that, like Rock Band and everything, because their sales aren't doing good, so they're just getting rid of all that. And they're focusing more on Call of Duty because that's their big ticket item right now. And Blizzard's doing what they do. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the way Blizzard does things. So.
Well, I mean, Activision just needs to look at Blizzard. Like, okay, what company would actually go in and be like, yeah, you make how many billions a month? Like, right. Well, we want you to step up your game from being the top. Can you be higher than the top, please? If anything, Blizzard needs to show Activision how
exactly,
it's done.
And
because didn't the market show that like Blizzard was the top in North America and Europe for sales and digital sales?
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys, please.
Yeah, if anything, Activision is taking a leaf out of Blizzard's book. I mean, that's pretty much what they're saying. They're going to try and focus on making money out of like map packs and stuff like that for Call of Duty. And, trying to turn it into a big thing, social network wise and stuff like that too with Call of Duty.
Although their merger is really scary because Call of Duty is the highest selling console game of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And then Blizzard's like the best PC guys. It's kind of a scary...
Taking over the world.
I think they are.
One video game at a time.
Well, not to mention what you also see in these news reports is that they're still really looking into consoles, and they keep saying that.
Meh. Doesn't really affect me, to be honest.
Yeah,
it doesn't affect me. It's just kind of interesting that they keep throwing that out there. It's like, are they really pushing to get Diablo 3 on the console? Because it's starting to sound that way. I mean, I don't really care. It's just kind of interesting.
If it does, I feel it's going to be something like the Diablo on console, where like the first one, where it's like it came out kind of after the fact, just to kind of poke at that market.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figure too.
It won't share servers with the PC guys, so it's just like, well, okay, go ahead.
And here's something to consider with that is that Call of Duty, highest selling console game ever, and it's an FPS, and FPS was the other genre that everybody was saying for a long time. It will never be as good on console as it is on computer, and the implication with that being it will never do as well on console as it did on computer. But even though it may be a worse experience, console FPSs are now the largest selling games ever.
Yeah, pretty much.